Tell me how your process, your way of mobilizing resources is both more effective and can get to the public that needs it more quickly. Well, what's the gist? What's innovative about this process?
Well, one of certainly the challenges for developing countries and emerging economies is the ability to finance its own budget, and its own priorities, and its own goals. So there is a lot of challenges in the world, and there is not enough resources to meet those challenges. So one of the theme, and that was very dear to me, is how does an emerging economy find new sources of revenues to meet their challenges and their everyday realities. And that has been certainly an issue for not only developing countries, but also multilateral organizations, because everybody understands that an emerging economy cannot depend on foreign aid exclusively, because it becomes sort of like a drug. Every time you do a project, instead of looking inwards for financing, you look what the donor is going to say, what the donor is going to do, how much money is the donor going to be giving, instead of saying, okay, what can I do internally to raise the funds and execute the projects? So there comes the concept of innovative financing for development. And certainly the UN has an office that takes care of that. It's like a global coordinator, and it's led by the former French culture minister, Philippe Douste-Blazy, whose focus is on raising through micro surcharges, so to have a micro element make a mega difference. So the concept was initiated then to add €1 per flight ticket from France and out of France in order to fight AIDS in Africa. That was how the concept initiated. And then it expanded to about 15 countries. So there is right now 15 countries that have this micro surcharge, this €1, which makes absolutely no difference. If you travel to Paris, I'm sure many of you have been to Paris. Whenever you buy a ticket, well, €1 or $1.12 of that ticket will go to a fund to fight AIDS in Africa. That model this year has been expanded to look at the extractive industries. So there's many countries right now in Africa that have oil. So every time the oil is extracted, there's a few cents that go to a UN fund called Unit Life. It's also coordinated by Philippe Douste-Blazy. And that fund goes to fight hunger in those specific countries. So those are the two models. So when we looked at and analyzed this particular model, we saw that it's an excellent model, but that can be certainly enhanced. And looking at different industries and looking at smaller surcharges in higher volume industries, the impact can be greater.
Yeah.